It's really exciting to see that some stuff that we are creating in BigBlueButton, making it more like a platform, is enabling this kind of really interesting prototype and things like that. It's very exciting to see it. And so I'm going to try to give an overview of the plugin architecture. If you want to see more details, there is a presentation I made on the BigBlueButton World Conference. It's available in YouTube already. So I'm going to try to explain it again, and probably we'll see more videos like that. But the idea is that it's continuously getting improved. So it's good to, from time to time, to come here and say what's happening. So I'm going to present the plugin architecture and the roadmap. The motivation for plugin architecture is improve the participation and collaboration, stimulate innovation and experimentation, as we just saw, very nice, and improve the compatibility and efficiency. Because somehow BigBlueButton was ever open source, so you could do this kind of stuff. But the problem is, if you do it, you need to recompile again, and when they upgrade BigBlueButton, you need to rewrite your code. So there's no efficiency in this process. With the plugins, we can make it easier. So this is the main motivation. So going a bit more in the technical side, the plugin must be simple to distribute. So you code the plugin with TypeScript, you can organize your code very well. But when you build the plugin, we achieve it to make it so the plugin is bundled in one single file. So you can host it somewhere and you add to the config file, and that's it. So it gets easier for you to deploy the plugin in any web hosting or in your BigBlueButton server itself. Seamless UI integration, I will talk more about that later, but basically you can add buttons and things like that in the UI of BigBlueButton. Reduce the learning curve, so inspired by the simplicity. It was nice that the guys involved creating the plugins, the previous demo, some of them are developers, but there was one guy in the team that said he's not a developer, but he could actually create the plugin that was connecting this whole thing. So it's really nice. The learning curve is not that high, so it's interesting. And well, we want to have the backward compatibility. So if you create a plugin for 3.0, it's going to work on 3.1, 3.2, and so on. So that's our goal. So what is a plugin? A plugin is a JavaScript bundle. You create a project, you create a JavaScript, and this is the plugin. You write it in TypeScript, and it gets access to a plugin API, which provides some methods that you can use. So one family of methods, let's say, is the extensible UI areas. So basically a plugin can say, I want to show an extra menu item, or I want to show a button in some specific part of the client, and it's reactive. So you can, the plugin can actually observe the data and modify what it's displaying. So if that is happening, I want to show a button on the screen, if user clicks and things like that. So it's very fluid. Anyways, I could go one by one of these items, but I think I'm going to do a separate video someday showing, let's say, a plugin workshop. We can organize that and invite who is interested, so we can go into details. Today we have, I think, 17 presentations, so I'm trying to hurry up. But basically, we have several parts of BBB that you can extend the UI, add menu items, add action buttons, and things like that. So this is the family of functions that allow you to extend the UI of BBB. But we also have the real-time data consumption. It's basically the plugin can observe to what is happening with the meeting, and based on this, it can do something that can be extending the UI or extending the UI, or even, as I'm going to show in the next slide, sending data to other participants through the data channel of the plugin. So Here is the data consumption that we have. There is the use current presentation. It's a hook that allows you to get information about the current presentation. But the nicer one is the last one, that is use custom subscription. So you can basically write any GraphQL query in the plugin and get the data. So these are kind of shortcuts. So we expect to add more, like use current presentation, use current user, or things like that. It helps someone that don't want to learn how to write a GraphQL query so you can get the data. But this one opens the door to query anything about the meeting, given the permissions of the user running the plugin. So this is important. The plugin only accesses what the browser can access. So it's very secure. It's not opening any security issue. So we have the real-time data exchange, also called as plugin data channels. So basically, in the settings YAML, where you configure the existence of the plugin, you can specify that this plugin will have 1, 2, or any data channels as you want. And you can specify who will be able to write to the data channel. So this is interesting because then the server is controlling who can publish to a data channel. But there is another level of control of the message flow. That is, when you publish, you dispatch a message and you say, you can specify that this message is going to this particular user ID or to a certain role. So basically, one plugin can send, we can make like peer-to-peer communication from not peer-to-peer, but like a private chat using the data channels, because one browser can send a message to one user ID and only this user ID will receive the message. And this is filtered by the server side. So we ensure that the data channel will only deliver the message for the users with that user ID or that role that the message was dispatched to. No, it's kind of too much, but as I said, we can do like a more complete presentation in the future. Yeah, the plugin also allows to join users. So basically, we can, let's say you have a plugin and you want to transfer to the TV using the presentation API. You can call the plugin API and request a join URL. And if you don't pass any override parameters, you're going to get a join URL that join with the same user and permissions as the browser that the plugin is running. And this would allow you to create some message, transmit to the TV, and TV would open the BigBlueButton session with the join URL. If you are a moderator, you can also specify other information like the enforce layout, role, full name, user ID, avatar, and redirect, and any user data parameter. This is what the guys of the hybrid classroom presented. They are using this join URL, this get join URL endpoint, overriding several stuff with this method. In the GitHub, we have a repository. The link is on the last slide, but you can also scan this QR code if you want to jump to the samples right now and start coding. We have several samples, but these samples are more like just showing individual features. So you can consume your data and add a console log. You can use the data channel, but it's really for developers. It's not real plugins that you can use now. But if you want to create any plugin right now, the samples are the way to go. This is what Timo did. He duplicated the folder and started coding on top of that. It was very easy. So anyone can go there, copy the folder, and start creating a plugin right now. So the roadmap, what's next? For the 3.0, we want to add the UI commands. That is a way that a plugin can say, open the user list, close the user list, or create a poll or something like that. So this is coming. This is work in progress. My time is over, 2 minutes. UI events. So the plugin can get notified when, let's say, a user is typing. So the user, the current user of the browser is typing. So plugin can subscribe to receive the event and do something about this information. So the UI events is, thanks, Fred. The UI events is a way that the BBB client can tell to the plugin running on BBB client that something is happening, but something that's not coming from server side. So it's more meant to integration of the BBB UI with the plugin. We also have a pull request already under review. That's the floating window. So a plugin can create a window that will be floating, so on top of BBB, so we can add any content. It's an interesting thing. So the plugin can open the window and close the window, and what renders within this window is up to the plugin. So it can allow anything. That's it. And simplify the way that a non-browser app can join GraphQL, because now it involves calling the join API, the enter API, connect to the GraphQL, and call the join mutation. It was kind of several steps. So Max on the mobile had to implement that. The guys had to implement that in Electron. So we want to simplify it. So you just connect to a URL and get everything you need and go to GraphQL. It's all coming from 4.3.0. So let's say early next year. And after 3.0, what we expect to do is exposing BBB UI components to be used within the plugin. Because one thing is extending the plugin, extending BBB, like adding more menu items or buttons within the BBB screen. But also when you open a pop-up, let's say, from a plugin, you could benefit if you can add the BBB button on the screen. So the idea is that we can create some kind of UI library and allow the plugin to use the same visual language as the BBB. And add more UI commands. DOM element interaction. This is really nice and it's very quick to explain. BBB will give the plugin a DOM element and the plugin can do something. So the idea is that we can allow syntax highlighting in the chat, for instance. So if you want to add a latex, I think you can add some kind of scientific thing and it will render in the place of the chat. So yeah, and move some core features to plugins and create the plugin directory. This is the link and that's all. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hey guys, so I want to show you a little bit about what we did here on the plugins development. I'm uploading the slides right now. Okay, so it's basically sorry. Okay, so it's basically a select random user that I did. We have some information here, some additional features that we added to this new pick random user. The checkbox to choose the whether to pick the moderators or not. So we can choose to pick all the users in the meeting or just the viewers, as I'm going to show in the demonstration later on. We have some information about the already visited users. So in this case, we're not having anything in the print, but it's going to be shown in the demonstration. And the ones that have, sorry, they already, it's the same thing, sorry. The available for selection is the one that can be picked out of the all users or just the viewers. And the previously selected are the ones that have been picked already. So here's the demonstration. I'm going to show you with the external video, just quickly here. Here I create the meeting. I join with moderator. I join with another moderator here. Then I'm going to join with some viewers, just out of example. Okay. So I'm going to the presenter to show you the presenter view perspective. Okay, so you have to, you can choose whether to skip moderators or not. You pick one and it's shown to all the other participants in the meeting who was picked. And we can pick again another one and it's shown right there. You can clear the previously selected, so you can choose another one again. And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoy these new features of the select random user. Thank you. Well, for days, I guess, 2 to 4 days, the time of the summit.
So you built it in 5 days.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Guilherme. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.